Okay, so most people think controlling a conversation means talking the most, being the loudest one in the room. The guy who tells the best story, has the funniest comeback, dominates the whole thing. Wrong. That's not control, that's a performance. And if you're an introvert, you already know that performance is exhausting. It's like being a Sims character with no energy bar, just running on fumes, smiling through it, secretly counting down until you can go home and lie face down on the floor. So, here's the actual unpopular take. The person who controls a conversation in English isn't the one talking the most. It's the one quietly deciding what happens next, without anyone noticing they're the one doing it, while everyone else thinks they're just having a chat. I could honestly end the video right here. Direct. Don't perform. Done. Thanks for watching. But stay with me because how you do that is the actual video, and it's simpler than you think.
Here's the reframe. Controlling a conversation isn't about output. It's about input. It's active observation. You notice something, you comment on it. That's it. That's the entire mechanic running underneath every smooth conversation you've ever envied. Most people think charisma is some internal glow you're either born with or not. Wrong again. It's just someone who got really, really good at noticing things and saying them out loud before anyone else does. That's the whole secret. No scripts, no techniques, just noticing and commenting on it like it's the most normal thing in the world. Let's break this into steps, because I promised you steps, and unlike most internet advice, I'm actually going to deliver them. Step 1, stop trying to be interesting. I know that sounds backwards. You'd think the goal is to say something impressive, something quotable, something that makes people go, wow, who is this person? But chasing interesting is exactly what makes you freeze up. Because now every sentence has to earn its place, and your brain just shuts the whole operation down. Glitch in the matrix, buffering, nothing comes out. So instead, go for neutral but interesting. Not, look how clever I am, just notice something true and say it. Someone's holding a coffee that looks like it's been through a war. You don't need a joke. You just say, that coffee looks like it's seen things. That's it. Neutral, observational, slightly funny by accident. See what happened there? You didn't perform. You commented. And commenting invites a response. It doesn't demand one. That's the entire difference between a conversation that flows and one that feels like an interview. Step 2, and this one's gonna sound like a hot take, stop asking so many questions. I know, every social skills video tells you just ask questions. People love talking about themselves. And sure, that works, technically. But here's the problem nobody mentions. Questions put the entire weight of the conversation back on the other person. It's basically you handing them a microphone and saying, perform now, please. That's pressure. That's a demand disguised as friendliness. A comment does something different. A comment invites. It doesn't demand. Compare these two. What do you do for work? Fine, functional, slightly like a customs officer. Versus, you've got that I just left a meeting that could have been an email energy. That second one isn't even a question. But watch, people answer it anyway. Because a comment that feels seen is impossible to ignore. The other person fills in the rest themselves. You just opened the door. You didn't drag them through it. That's the move. Comments open doors. Questions hand out homework. Step 3. And honestly, this might be the most important reframe in this entire video, so stay with me. Introverts already have the exact skill that makes this whole thing work. You're already observant. You already notice the small stuff. The weird detail on someone's bag, the way a barista said, have a day instead of have a good day, and nobody else clocked it, but you did. That's not a personality flaw you need to fix. That's literally the main resource here. The trick is just stop keeping it to yourself. Think of every great detective in every detective show ever made. They don't talk the most in the room. They just say the one true thing nobody else noticed. And suddenly, they're the most interesting person there.
Bold color choice on that tie. I respect it. Is that the chicken? It looks like it fought back. You're not being funny on purpose. You're just narrating reality slightly more honestly than everyone else. And somehow that reads as charisma. You don't need to be the main character. You just need to notice things like one would.
Okay, step 4. This is the part where it stops being nice small talk tips and becomes actual control. Once you've made one little comment, the other person almost always reacts. They laugh, they explain, they add a detail. And here's the part nobody tells you. That detail they just gave you, that's your new material. You don't need a follow-up question. You just file it away and bring it back later. Out of nowhere. Wait, didn't you say earlier you've never actually finished a single show on your watch list? I need a full list. This feels important. That's it. That's the whole control people think requires charisma or confidence or some innate gift. It's just memory plus timing. You're not performing, you're referencing. And a callback feels like being truly listened to, which, weirdly, almost nobody does anymore. So you instantly stand out, just by remembering something for more than 4 seconds.
Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. This is fine in theory, but I freeze up in real conversations. This isn't going to magically fix that. Fair, totally fair. But here's the relief part. The part I actually want you to walk away with. You were never supposed to be the entertainer. That was never the job. Trying to be on the entire time, that's the introvert's actual nightmare. And also a job nobody hired you for. Active observation doesn't drain you the way performing does. It's quiet. It's low energy. You're basically people watching, except you occasionally say the thought out loud instead of keeping it in your head, where it's been living rent-free this whole time. You don't need to be interesting. You just need to be present enough to notice something, and brave enough to say it before the moment passes. That's the whole game.
So, quick recap, because I respect your time. Stop performing, start observing. Comments over questions. Invites, not demands. Be the detective, not the witness. Say the thing you already noticed. And call back what they tell you. That's the actual control part. I could give you a worksheet. I'm not going to give you a worksheet. Here's your actual homework, and it's small on purpose. Today, in one conversation, just notice one thing, out loud. That's it. One comment. See what happens. You already have the skill. You've just been keeping it to yourself. All right, that's the video. See you in the next one.